Welcome to this episode of Junk Food on the Road. Today we're going to talk about
Myanmar. It's kind of a complicated place to talk about.
It's a very complicated place.
So I think we'll just agree to let the politics of this place not affect this.
Yeah, we shouldn't talk about that.
So we've been here for a few months.
10
months. Normally I try and record these things sooner when we move someplace, but
for some reason we didn't.
For some reason we did. So what can we say about the food here?
Well, without going into the politics too much, it's really difficult to import good food here. Fresh food, meat is an issue.
Cheese
Cheese
and
is
dairy
an
products.
issue. Dairy, vegetables. A lot of the vegetables are not very good. They rot very quickly, and
There are local vegetables that are okay.
they're okay.
The one thing I found about the fruit, it's actually funny because people ask me, because, having lived in Cambodia and traveled to Thailand a lot and other places, people ask me about some of the fruit here and how it compares. And like the two big ones, or some of the big ones are like mangoes, dragon fruit, and durian. And I've never eaten the durian here, but I can tell you that the durian are much smaller here. And same with the mangoes. Like when they sell Thai mangoes in the stores here, they're the big ones, and the local ones are smaller. So there's this whole thing of like all the fruit seems to be smaller versions of what you get in Thailand. Like size-wise. Flavor-wise, the mangoes here are okay.
The avocados are pretty good.
They can be. They can be not great, but when they're good, they're very good.
Yeah. Not the avocados. Oh my goodness. Asparagus here is pretty good too, local asparagus.
It's weird though. It's long, it's skinnier, it's longer, but it's a little woodier.
It's a little woodier, but if you cut off the woody bits, it's actually quite good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a strange thing that like asparagus is always available here and pretty good, which is weird because like you normally think of asparagus as being a very sort of special thing to get. So
as far as junk food goes, there's stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of potato chips that are made locally.
Yeah, and there's some locally made chocolate bars that are really good.
Yeah, Ananda is the name of the brand, and they make a really good. I think they actually grow it here too. It's not.
Yeah, it's completely vertically integrated.
Yeah.
It's the cocoa beans are grown here, and then it's processed here as well.
So that's pretty good, and that's a very common thing around here. Like every grocery store carries that. You get a lot of the same sort of stuff you get in Cambodia and Thailand as far as like desserts and that sort of thing. It was British occupied, so you don't quite get the French influence of pastries that you get in Cambodia.
True.
But there's still some good, decent breads. Like there's a few good.
And there's some interesting things that you can get here that we hadn't seen before. Like those they look like little puffy rice cakes, but they're tiny. They're not like the rice cakes you get in North America.
Yeah.
They look sort of like a loaf of bread. And they're flavorless, but they're flavored.
Yeah, I've had those a few times, and I quite enjoy them. So,
and the cake rusks.
Yeah, rusks. That's something we can talk about here for sure. They're really obsessed with cake rusks here, and they have all kinds of flavors of them, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if they make them here or if they're from somewhere else, but this is the only place I've seen them.
Yeah, and it's such a variety that I would be surprised if they made them anywhere else and brought them all the different brands. Because normally here you'll get like one brand of stuff at a time.
Yeah.
Whereas rusks, I've seen like 3 or 4 brands on the shelves at one time. And
we may have seen them one other place, one other country. But
maybe.
I just like this is the first place I've ever noticed them.
Yeah, this is the variety I've never noticed. So when we first moved here, that's like one of the things I did is I tried like every flavor and variety I could.
And that was a lot.
Yeah.
And it took you until just like
recently.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of off them because I ate so many of them.
Another thing that it's sort of food related. It's not a food itself, but culturally there's this food sharing tradition. So you go into a workplace here and everybody brings food that they share with each other. And they all eat breakfast together and they all eat lunch together at the office. And there's constantly just this trade in food where people will bring something in for everybody else to try, or that they'll either cook at home or they'll pick up or they've seen somewhere, or some kind of fruit. And it's really neat.
I like that too because I like baking, and so it an outlet for my baking.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, your baking does go into that food sharing culture at my office. So yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some interesting stuff. There's a lot of Chinese food here. And the funny thing is, I don't know if you noticed this, but I've been to several restaurants, many restaurants even, where I walk in and there's like 3 or 4 menus to choose from. And it's always like, there'll be like a Chinese menu, a local menu, and like literally like I was actually at a restaurant recently where they handed us a menu and then somebody went, oh, no, I wanted this thing. And then they handed us another menu that had completely different stuff in it in the same restaurant.
That's true.
And then there's this other place I go to in one of the parks here has this little restaurant in it. And when you sit down, there's like 5 menus thrown in front of you.
Is that the one by the lake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just like, that's a thing here. It's like even when you go to a coffee shop, there'll be like the coffee menu, then there'll be like a different coffee menu, but like it'll have the French coffees. And so every place has like huge menus and like menus to choose from, and it's crazy. So I've never seen anything like that. Like, and it's weird because sometimes they don't deliver all the menus to you at once. You kind of have to ask for the other menu.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I have to say this is not a great place for me to eat out because I'm allergic to fish and seafood and sugar. Sugars, all sugars, carbohydrates. And that is the basis of almost all Bamar cooking.
Yeah.
But one thing they do well at, and there's only a couple of restaurants, but Indian food they do very well here.
Yeah, the Indian food we've had some really good luck.
Which isn't surprising because we're practically like we share a border with India here.
Yeah, this country is really the connection between India and sort of
the Far East.
Yeah, this sort of Southeast Asia you would know in Thailand and Cambodia, but so there is definitely Indian influence. The other thing I noticed about the cooking here is noodles seem to be more popular than rice.
Yeah, noodles are very popular, although rice is extremely popular.
Rice is popular, but like if you see a place that has like local food, they'll have fried rice, but they'll also have like 2 or 3 noodle dishes. Like I've never seen.
I think that cooking at home is largely rice based. Like if you look at the internally displaced people's camps and the refugee camps and all of the humanitarian food assistance that goes to them, the main staple is rice. So I think that noodles is sort of like a going out thing.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know for sure.
I don't know either.
I could ask somebody.
There is also a candy industry here in that I've seen lots of like locally made candies, and I've tried a few of them. They're not the highest quality, I'll be honest. They're not the best things. I have yet to really try a candy, like a packaged candy that I've gone, wow, this is a local thing that I need to try again, and it's amazing. But there's some different stuff. There's some creative stuff. There's a lot of gimmicky stuff. So like little marshmallows shaped like bears, or weird little shaped lollipops, or pop rocks. A lot of like gimmicky candy that they sell here. There's also a hard candy industry, which is strangely all over Southeast Asia, like Thailand, Cambodia, and here all have a few companies that make like a hard rock candy. Which
kind of makes sense if you consider the climate.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it makes sense. Chocolate here is. I've had a few examples, and I've posted it on Twitter and stuff, and or X as they call it now, or and Instagram. I posted pictures of like boxes of imported chocolates that explain why you don't import chocolates to places like this.
It's 2 words. It melts.
Yeah, it melts. It's funny because ice cream is quite popular here.
Oh yeah.
But I constantly see them juggling freezers because with electricity shortages that happen here regularly, the freezers break down all the time. And so one of the things I notice all the time is I always try and guess which freezer the ice cream is going to be in when I go to a grocery store, because it always moves around, or a local grocery store, because they're constantly having to move it while they fix another freezer.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. There's power outages at least in the capital. Well, we're not in the capital. In the capital city, there's not that many power outages, but we're in sort of the commercial capital, and it's power outages every 4 hours for 4 hours.
Yeah. So I mean, most stores have generators, or at least the stores we go to, so it's not too bad. But dried fruit is quite popular here too. Yes. There's a lot of. There's also this isn't really junk food related, but the grocery stores have these in the meat section. There'll be like a meat section with chicken and beef and pork, and then next to it there's like a section of like what seems to be like rubs, spices, and sauces, sort of in bowls, and it's sort of liquidy. I'm not really sure what you do with it, but it's like sort of like salady topping, black bowls of like with different herbs and spices in it. I don't know if you've noticed that before.
No, you do most of the grocery shopping for us.
So like that seems to be a thing where I don't think people are preparing their sauces and spices at home. I think they buy them pre-prepared and then add them to their foods. I think that's a thing.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
This is totally not Myanmar, but the first time I lived in Japan, I asked somebody how to make pork cutlet sauce, and they just laughed at me. They're like, "You don't make it, you buy it."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay."
Street food here is kind of interesting. I find street food here is often like it's almost like it caters to whatever area you're in. So it's like the street food here, like if there's a street food thing in a building, it's for the people who work in that building. Thailand has sort of a more open sort of like, oh, well, you go to that person for their chicken, you go to that person. But here I feel like everything's a little bit more localized.
But there's the Thailand also has like street food booths in parking garages in business buildings.
Yeah, but here it'll be like one or two that's specifically like nobody will go to that building for the food. Only the people that work in that building will go there, it seems like.
I think it's the same in Thailand. I mean, there's
Maybe.
More open markets, of course, but there are some in business buildings that are.
I guess here they have only really the building ones. They don't really have. There aren't really like places where there's a bunch of food.
Yeah, there's fresh markets on the street.
Yeah.
Right, where you can get your bananas and your, fresh vegetables and fruits and stuff, but. There's no prepared food market, really.
Not really, no. There's
but that's all over Thailand and Cambodia.
Yeah.
Like
there's not like these areas
made
where
on
you
the street.
It's mostly done at the individual places, like as opposed to like a market where you can sort of have a choice between what you want to get. So the other thing, I mean, it's sort of unrelated, but related, is I went to the banana market for the first time, and that was kind of an interesting experience because I've never seen so many bananas in my entire life.
The one at the port, right?
Yeah. It's basically the ports where they come in. They also did what appeared to be thatching and coconuts. So it's, I guess, whatever the little boats bring in. And they'd have like the little boats from each area, and they'd bring in bananas and stuff. And I bought an entire arm of bananas, I guess, or branch. And between three of us, we were the three of us that were there, and we split. They cut them apart for us, and so we got a few bananas here. But
a few.
That was kind of nice.
If you ever listen to the Banana Boat song where they talk about 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch, yeah. So you've got a 7 foot bunch, and so you bring home like 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah.
If you share it with 3 people, it's a lot.
Yeah, my friends sent me a message and wanted to make sure they had my recipe for banana bread. Ooh. Yeah. The other thing we should mention is rainy season is a thing here.
You don't say.
Yeah, it rains here a lot.
I don't know if that thunderclap was recorded on this, but maybe.
I saw the lightning. It was quite bright.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
it's pretty extreme.
Yeah, the rainy season is the most extreme rainy season, but it's funny because you see the food stalls still out there in the rain, and they just manage somehow.
Well, because it's half of the year.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So you can't change your life. Yeah.
Yeah, but the rainy season is definitely a thing here. Coffee is also very popular here. Like there are coffee and tea shops everywhere.
True.
They call them tea shops, but I think nowadays they sell more coffee than tea.
And ordinarily, I would look at that and think, oh, it's for the tourist trade, but there haven't been tourists here since 2019.
No, and you see locals in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, it's funny too because the other thing too, because they're having economic problems here. You often see a lot of these places doing things that seem environmental, but it's out of necessity, like recycling things and finding interesting uses on how to do stuff. That's reusing materials and stuff, and it's kind of interesting because I think a lot of other places could learn a lot of lessons from them.
Probably true.
So that's kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
So.
Not that we're talking about the political economic situation here, but.
No, I mean we can all agree that they're having a hard time. We just won't say why.
They are having a pretty hard time. My heart goes out to the people here.
Yeah. One of our friends here makes chicken skin and chicken intestines deep fried. And I've sort of developed a taste for that. Even the intestines, deep fried, is actually remarkably good if spiced and flavored well. This person delivered me some of them, and I actually think I enjoyed them more than the skins.
I couldn't try them because they're marinated in fish.
Yeah, they're marinated in fish. So.
Or seafood, I don't know.
So yeah, if I have to pull away, the weird thing that I sort of learned to like here is deep fried chicken intestines.
There you go. Cambodia, it was tarantulas.
Yeah.
Here it's chicken intestines.
Deep fried chicken intestines. Remarkably good, crispy, and they have garlic, and there's a little green leaf stuff they put on everything. I forget what it's called, but it's on a lot of things.
Oh, I think I know the stuff you're talking about.
And it's often in sort of like sometimes you can get them in chips.
Something. Oh no.
Yeah, I forget. It's a flavoring.
Malars or something.
Something like that.
But malar, I think, also has seafood paste in it.
No, I'm just talking about the leaf itself.
It's the leaf.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing.
My guess would be lime leaf.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the other thing you can talk about that's sort of, it's not junk food, but it's a leaf and it's everywhere, is the betel leaf.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen so many people chewing.
And spitting.
It's.
Pan.
Yeah. So basically, what it is.
It's disgusting. The roads are just, and the sidewalks are just covered in.
There might be people who don't even
burgundy.
have an idea what we're talking about. So basically, what it is, it's a leaf, and you buy it in these stalls.
It's not just a leaf, though.
But it's rolled up. There's stuff rolled up in this leaf.
In the leaf, yeah.
And the leaf has like narcotic effects. And when you chew it, it rots out your teeth and makes your mouth red.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And
you spit it out.
And you have to spit it out. And so basically, every street here, even in the rainy season, is just covered in red spit.
Yeah.
And it looks like people are spitting blood.
That doesn't help the appetite either.
No, it doesn't.
No.
So it's, but yeah, it's like spitting blood. It's kind of weird. It's kind of gross.
It looks like somebody's gone around with a can of sort of blood red paint and put big splotches of this red paint all over the roads and sidewalks.
I always thought it looked like
really
there was a fist fight.
But it's like really concentrated.
Yeah.
Like there's big splotches of it.
It's amazing how much you spit out.
Splattered paint.
Yeah.
It's just.
It's gross, but apparently it makes you high. I don't know how high or what the narcotic level is on it. Whether it's like nicotine level narcotic or whether it's like, from nicotine to heroin, where does it fall? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's quite popular here, and you see people.
And the taxi drivers.
Yeah.
Use it, and so it makes driving in a taxi. You're sort of like, is this a pan user?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see the traffic and you think, I hope they are. So,
you don't mean that.
No, I don't mean that. But yeah, so that's another sort of interesting, and that's definitely junk food because it's bad for you.
Yes.
So.
Although you don't eat it.
No, I don't know what you do with it actually.
They chew it and spit it out. It's like chewing tobacco or gum.
I guess so.
But except it's like grosser, if that's even possible. It'd be grosser than gum. But yeah. Terrible.
So I guess unless you have something else to say, I think that's.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
That's good. So thanks for listening to another episode of Junk Food on the Road, where today we talked about
Myanmar.
Yay. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at CandyCritic, or go to candycritic.org and find links to all the other social media stuffs that we got, as well as all the reviews and stuff like that. You can also join Patreon there if you want to. Also, you can pick up the books that I got going on there, which is Snack Facts and Treats and Beasts. So candycritic.org has got it all. Make sure to check that out. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.